everybody. Welcome to the RXP podcast. My name is Tiffany, and today I'm hosting a peer review episode with my co-hosts, Alex.
Hello.
And Matt.
What's going on?
So, y'all know at the RXP podcast here, we're a group of 3 working professionals that come together to talk about their love for movies, TV shows, games, books, a lot of other things. But we have a sub-series of a podcast called Peer Review. And each peer review episode picks one, IP, intellectual property, whether it be a specific game, a specific movie, and we come together and really dig deep and talk about our feels and vibes of that particular topic at hand. And today's peer review episode is very near and dear to my heart. We're discussing the hot game Marvel Snap.
It's about time. Let me tell you. Let me just put it down here, all right? Everybody,
lay it down.
Go look at our top 6 experiences of last year. There was one person, mind you, who put it on their list. And all I'm saying is, I'm glad that we're finally on the same page. I'm glad, Tiffany, that you finally bit the bullet and you let it take over your life, as it should have been from the beginning.
Listen, I took the leap of faith, a whole Assassin's Creed reference here. I jumped off and I'm in deep. You guys are about to learn some truths today. There's some truths that are about to come out. And I don't know that if you're both mentally prepared to hear what is going to come out of my mouth right now.
Honestly, since introducing the game to you, I'm surprised we're at this point where you're the one who has prompted this peer review to happen in the first place. And here I thought it would have been Matt.
I was like, we need to talk about this. It's been a wild ride. So, there's something we like to do here on this episode. Mm-hmm. And it's been a long time since we've done something like this.
Uh-oh.
And I'm surprising my co-hosts with a game. I've come up with a game here. Mm-hmm. And it's called How Well Do We Know Snap? Now, it's not shaming anybody. It's just we're going to go through some questions. I've pulled up some information. And I'm going to ask my 2 friends here, Alex and Matt, to answer these questions. There's not necessarily one winner. Everyone will just earn points, okay? And whoever has the most points can be deemed the winner if they would like. I don't know. We'll see.
If there are points, then you're winning. I'm snapping turn 1.
Oh, snap! Okay, here we go. There's 3 rounds, 5 questions each, okay? We're going to start off a 2023 RXP pod / peer review / specifics game total. Let's see who wins at the end of the year. Let's go. First round. How well do you know Snap? This round is called Cards.
Cards.
It's Energy and Power.
I wonder what it's about.
Energy. Oh. Yeah, it's called Cards, Energy, and Power. Okay, so I'm going to ask my co-hosts here. I'm going to start out. Who wants to go first? I'm going to give you a card.
Okay.
I'll go first.
No going first. You ring in. You buzz in. You say,
okay.
What's your favorite card? Alex, what's your favorite card? Just pick one. Or a card you very much enjoy.
I really enjoy Ultron.
Okay, Matt, what's a card you enjoy?
Let me see. Let's go Professor X.
Okay. Both of you will have to buzz in with your card. So, Alex, if you want to
more
answer the question, you gotta
syllables.
say Ultron. Matt got to say
you
Professor
can just
X.
say X. Maybe.
Yeah, just say
Okay.
X. Yeah, Matt can say X. Okay, so I'm going. There's 5 questions here. You're gonna tell me the energy and power of the card I'm about to say. Okay, you buzz
okay.
it, and you can just say like 2-2, 2-3, whatever.
Okay.
Whatever. Okay.
Sure.
I did my best to pick a variety of cards. Also, no need to go into the details of like, well, are we talking if there's a power up involved? How many enemies are we looking? No, you nerds. We're not going that deep
Yeah,
right
nerds.
now, okay? Yeah, okay. So, first question, buzz in with your card name. Devil Dino.
Ultron.
Alex,
5-3.
you get the point. 5-3. Devil Dino.
Nice.
It's 5 energy, 3 power. I have a variant of Devil Dino, and I love it very much. Okay, second question. Warpath.
Ultron.
Alex.
4-5.
Yeah, that is correct.
Nice.
4-5.
I don't even know what Warpath is. Oh, that's the one where if it's empty, they get powered up.
Yes.
Nice. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Third question. The Hood.
Ultron.
Alex.
1-2.
That is correct.
Nice.
That is correct here.
It's like the Alex show. I'm just kind of like watching. You know what I mean?
Okay, no, for real though, Matt, do you struggle with, like, let's break it down here. Do you struggle with keeping track of the cards?
Keeping
we can
track
be
of
real.
the cards?
Or I mean, like, knowing what they are without, like, looking at them? Because I'm not gonna lie, like, if I did this game, I don't know that I'd be performing very well either.
I definitely knew Hood. I didn't. I
Okay.
just have never used Dino. The Dino. I've never even used him before. So I was like, who knows? It's
That's
always
fair.
never. The power is never 3. You know, it's like always like 12 or 13 or whatever.
That is true. That is true. Okay, fair enough. Okay, fourth question. Death.
Ultron.
X.
I'm gonna give it to Matt because he needs to get on the board.
9,
do it.
12.
Excellent. 9-12. But we love it when she's,
0, 12.
0, 12.
Yeah, love it.
That's right. That's right. Okay, last card. Spider-Man.
X.
Ultron.
Oh, Matt said it first.
It's
I heard X first.
4-3.
Excellent. Wow. Okay.
Okay,
We
so
got
you know,
3.
made it respectable
3-2.
at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I would like to say that I'm kind of disappointed when I found out that in October there was like a Spider-Man theme going on. So missed out on some cool card backs.
That's when I started,
because
and that's when I told you to start.
that's true.
Look
And
what
I told
happens.
I was like, no, thank you. I'm gonna go in deep, and the audience is gonna hear just how deep in a few moments.
This rabbit hole
Okay.
goes.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm a little bit excited about this one. But I am curious. So looking at my questions here, it appears that this round, which is called flavor text, only has 4 questions.
Flavor text.
Flavor text. So in this round, I'm going to name cards without any abilities, and you need to tell me what their flavor text says. For example, Hulk's, the card Hulk says Hulk Smash.
Oh gosh. Who
So
reads?
let's just. That's what I was about to say. I'm like, do you guys read? We're gonna see, because guess what? I don't pay attention to that flavor text, but we're gonna see if you guys
Who
do.
uses cards without abilities?
Those Patriot
mean-
builds.
Yeah, I mean, I want to,
Yeah.
but I don't.
Do you not have
don't got-
Patriot?
I have Patriot, but I
Okay,
don't have
good.
a few other cards that are optimal for
Gotcha.
that deck,
Mm-hmm.
which I can't remember which card it is that I don't have. But there is
Mystique?
one. Yeah, I don't have Mystique.
Oh yeah.
No,
That's
there was
tough.
wasn't there another one? I don't know, okay.
Kazar.
No, I have Kazar.
Listen, you can wreck
Okay.
some people with Patriot and Mystique just by itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And I don't have
A little
Mystique,
like
and there
on
we
the
are.
6th turn, do 3 Patriot, 3 Mystique,
Mystique.
and like get them to snap beforehand. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
And you're just like going out to tea.
Yeah.
Like, you're just like, this is it. Okay, so let's see. 4 questions. You know what? This is why both of your faces, your eyeballs got way wide when I said this. So it's a good thing I only have 4 questions instead of 5.
That's good.
So
That's good.
first question is, what is the flavor text for Cyclops?
Ultron.
Alex?
X-Men. Let's move.
I'm going to give it to you, but it's actually Let's Move X-Men.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. Get
Yeah,
it.
that is you. You have flipped it. Wow. Okay. Yep.
That's the
Yep.
only one I know.
That's pretty good. Like that's
All right,
really
Matt,
good.
take it away.
No. I don't like that.
Okay. Next flavor text card. Misty Night. Misty Night.
Oh, man. 1, 2. Sorry. I have no idea. I missed tonight.
Do I give you half a point for knowing how much she's worth for energy?
No, I don't deserve it. Is it something about New York City or something?
You're close, but not close enough.
Okay.
It's we've got to save this city.
Okay.
So you did get the city, so that clicked a little bit. No one gets this point, but yeah, that's Misty. She's got to save the city. Okay, third question. Shocker.
X.
Matt. It's a threat.
I'm gonna blast. I'm gonna blast.
I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna blast you.
Oh, okay.
Specifically you. Specifically you. Yeah, Matt gets the point. Good job. Yep.
I was gonna say it's shocking time.
It's shocking time.
I think you're mixing up the thing, where his is it's clobbering time.
Oh, I guess that's not the fourth one.
Is that a spoiler for the next one? He's got no power.
Okay, so the last question of the flavor text round is abomination. Abomination.
Is it just him going raw? Because that's what his face looks like. So.
Yeah. No, Alex, you have any guesses?
I'm going to slash you.
No.
I'm going to slice you.
No.
I'm going to smash you.
No. Okay. It's foolish rubble. You're beneath me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
How
he has
pretentious.
He has a whole thing going on.
Okay, two sentences, please.
He does 2 sentences. Okay, so you each got 1-1. Not bad. Decent round.
Oh my gosh.
So far, Alex has.
I'm kind of shocked that
4 points.
We got 2 of them, honestly.
Yeah.
We got 2 of
You're
them
shocked?
with a handicap. Oh yeah, it's shocking time.
Yeah. Okay, you guys. This last round is called locations.
Okay.
I'm gonna name a location, and you're gonna tell me what happens there.
Got it.
Okay.
Oh, Alex has got this
They're all
down.
happening places.
Yeah, there happen places. I'm absolutely mediocre. I'm very mid with this. So I've definitely mistaken some locations just on visuals alone.
Yeah.
And that's
100%. Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to tell me what it does by calling in your answers. There's 5 questions here. First question. Lemuria.
Ultron.
Alex.
No cards are revealed this turn.
That is
nice.
correct. 1 point for you. Good call.
I'm trying to make the image come up in my mind, and then I can tell you what it does.
That's
I'm like
fair.
swirly. Got it.
Yeah, the wave or whatever. Yeah. Okay. Second question. Monster Metropolis.
X. Add a 9 power monster to each side.
Ooh, this was a trick question. It's not that.
Dang. Is that like Monster Island or something?
Yes. Yeah,
Oh,
something
okay.
like that. It's not that. Alex, do you know about Monster Metropolis?
Oh man, I was thinking it was Monster Island now. Monster Metropolis. What happens there? I'm gonna say cards with the highest power get +3 here.
That is correct.
Nice.
Oh my gosh.
That's pretty good.
That's amazing. There's
a lot of things with monsters, so that it was either that. Those were the only 2 I knew with monsters.
You know, I never knew that was Monster Metropolis. Like I had no idea that was that name. Like, it's the +3 one. I'm looking for the +3.
Yeah, you're like, I have to read.
Yeah.
I have to read what that one says, yeah. Okay. Third question. Sewer system.
X.
Yes.
-1 power across the board.
Correct.
Nice.
Matt, -1. I hate sewer system.
Yeah.
I don't hate it as much as like Shadowland or something. Ninja Shadowland, but it's pretty annoying.
What's the one that's
Okay.
-3 everywhere? That one wrecks me. Because it's like, you got low cards. Whoo! Here's in the negative. Can't remember what it's called.
That's true. I don't remember what it's called. See, this is how good I am at this round. And I was like, you know what? Wouldn't it be entertaining
I know
to
the
ask my
-2
cohorts? What's -2 one?
Necrotia.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Spoiler, both of those are not
Excellent.
Okay,
Good.
fourth question. Sokovia.
Ultron.
Yes, Alex.
Discard a card from each player.
Nice.
That is correct. Discarding a card from each player. Now, I remember being very upset with that, but then I started dabbling in the discard deck, and I was like, oh!
Is that what you found a lot of success with? The discard deck recently?
That is a great question.
For later?
And I'm going to answer that after this one.
Okay.
Last question here for my location powers. What happens at the Bifrost?
X.
Yes.
Move all cards to the right on turn or after turn 4.
Yes, Matt gets the point here. You know what? You guys did fantastic. Alex, I'm giving you half a point for the Boston
High
Chocolates,
five, Alex.
Yeah, high five to everyone.
We
High
did
fives
well.
all around.
We did well.
Yeah, you guys know it. You guys are paying attention. You're thinking. You're strategizing. That's what's going on.
We sometimes
There's no
read.
winners or losers here. You know what I mean? But if we needed a winner, it might have been Alex. He got one more point from you.
Listen, I think Alex well deserved of it. But
yeah, I mean,
listen,
the man started in the
snapped
beta.
before the game began, so that gave me the edge.
that pre-snap dough, you know?
Yeah, that pre-snap. Okay, you guys, that was a fun time.
That was fun.
Going through,
fun game.
Yeah, thanks. So let's just reorient the audience here. We're talking about Marvel Snap, and this game is a mobile digital card game. Well, I guess I said mobile, so mobile and digital are kind of the same thing, but it's a card game. There's you build a deck of 12 cards of various Marvel characters or items, I guess, because they do have some ships in there, and you play against another player at 3 different locations with varying powers. So we gone through, you got a variety of cards with different powers, you got a variety of cards that cost different costs, and then you have a variety of locations. What's really cool and keeps us coming back is that each week you have new missions, challenges, location rotations, like things pop up a little more frequently sometimes. You have goals to go after, like little missions, play 25 cards today, and et cetera, et cetera. And I started this game, the latest out of all 3 of us. I started this game Christmas Day.
What a day to start, though. What a Christmas present.
What a gift. You know what I mean?
What a gift.
You're welcome.
Alex was literally looked at me and was like, "Hey, you should play Marvel Snap. Now's would be a good time to start because they're giving away a lot of free stuff." And I was like, "Why?" And he's like, "You'd like it." And I'm like, "Well, if Alex said I'd like it and Matt put it on his top 6, that means something." And then he said free stuff, and I was like,
speaking your
okay.
language.
I was like, I love a good deal. You know what I mean? So I was like, let me check it out. So I downloaded it, and I've been playing nonstop ever since. You guys, I stayed up till 1:30 in the morning.
Wow.
Playing Marvel Snap today.
That's intense.
And the reason why, I'm going to tell everyone here. Come close. I made it to rank 71.
What?
I was battling my way up. I got to 69. And I was like, I'm going to go to bed when I'm done with that. And an hour later, I'm like at 67. And out of rage and out of a place of desperation, your girl bought the season pass. I bought
Oh no,
Zabu.
It's pay to win.
I bought Zabu. And I was like, maybe if I get enough credits from all these boxes, I can get better cards and make a new deck. And guess what? I didn't. Everything I got was garbage. And then I just kept playing. I was like, well, that was 10. Well, it was more like $9 because I had Google Play money. I had like gift card money. Anyway, I was like, well, that was $9.
You got Zabu, though.
I guess I got Zabu, but I don't have a deck with that. So then I just powered through.
Mm-hmm.
Matt, I made it. I'm at 71.
That's awesome.
I'm at rank 71.
That is awesome. What
need
deck
everyone
finally
else's vibe
got you
check.
there?
Okay. This is what's interesting to me, you guys. Have you guys noticed that different rank ranges, like you do better with specific decks when you're at a specific range?
Okay.
Have you guys felt that? No, I'm asking a question.
It's kind of like a tinfoil theory, but if we had like a strategy section, which I assume would have been like a part, but I'll just bring it up now.
Yeah.
I feel like part of my climbing success has also been in that, but definitely there's nothing objective about this. It's more so just anecdotal evidence of saying as you go through basically every 10 levels, right? So between every rank, it feels like you need to swap decks to see success, or at least that's how I've had success, is not necessarily playing the same deck, from 40 to 50 to 60 to 70 to
Mhm.
80. It's swapping decks periodically once you kind of feel like for some invisible reason the deck isn't getting you cubes anymore, and somehow whatever deck you swap to ends up being something you find success. So yes, I think there's subjectively something there, but I agree with you, at least on my personal experience, that feels like it to be the case.
Yeah, like I'm not finding great success. I will say I have taken not a break, like I'm still playing quite a bit each day. Definitely playing probably the least, I would suspect, unless Alex is like playing, 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes at night or something like that. Because I found a hidden gem on Game Pass and I've been really enjoying that. So I've not been like playing a lot of my time on Marvel Snap. So I got to 54 and then played with a new deck and was just trying to like figure it out and was kind of getting bold. Actually made it all the way down to like 47. And I'm
Oh,
still
okay.
kind of like tinkering with a new deck. But the thing is like what I did notice is that I have like a tried and true reveal, like it's very like standard like Wong, White Tiger. It's basically how it gets to level 50
Odin.
every
Right.
time. Like it's very
Season.
easy to get there. Um,
Yes.
it does not work past 50 at all. But
Yeah.
when I dip down into the 40s, I'm like wiping people very easily because there's a lot of like very shallow destroy decks that I have armor for that I don't know if it's like there's just a lot of destroy decks or if they have a reveal deck. My reveal deck is very robust and like I usually can beat fellow reveal decks pretty easily with it. So I don't know if it's like because you get a lot of reveal abilities that are kind of like in your face and a lot of destroy abilities which are also on reveal. I wonder if that is kind of what you're kind of seeing, and then once people get to 50 they start like experimenting with other things, because I found a lot of success early on 50s doing discard, but if I had a fellow discarder sometimes I would run into trouble, like if they had null or anything like that, or
Yes.
like I just
Yes.
got wiped. Like there was just nothing to it. But I don't know. I'm definitely game for any tips and hints that you guys have, because I would like to get to level 60 and 70 potentially. But I really am like after the variants. So if there's like a mystery variant
Yeah.
of 60, that's all I would go towards.
Yeah, I definitely hear you. And I would agree with you, Matt. Like that's why I kind of proposed the question here. I feel like for me, like from 50 to 60, my two decks that kind of worked, even though I had a very subpar discard deck, was a discard deck and then my Silver Surfer deck. And I was also a little bit confused because Silver Surfer, everyone talks about online how the Silver Surfer decks are like wiping the floor with people. And I'm like, why am I not wiping the floor with anyone?
Right, yeah.
like I was like, I'm still struggling here, just getting 2 cubes or losing 4 cubes here and there. I also realized that it really does depend on the location or what location's hot. Right now, of recording, we've seen Plunder Castle kind of pop up a lot, which is the one where you can only play a energy 6 card at this location. And surprisingly, I had climbed from 60 to 70 with an older deck that I used to play in the early beginnings, which is actually, Alex, what would you call it? The collector deck? Is it a collector deck?
Yeah, because that has double dino, right? So it's just kind of
Yeah.
like hand sizing, adding to hand.
Yeah, so it's hand sizing, adding to hand, and it's like you play collector, you just keep trying to get cards from the other player. I finally, guys, after like a month and a little over a month of playing this game, I finally really understood actually more of the synergies, because I've come to realize that when I play with my collector deck, one of the cards is cable, and you essentially just take the opponent's card, right? So I go into the opponent's deck and take a card. When I
Okay.
look at the card and I see the card, I'm like, it gives you a clue of what kind of deck they have. And I was very small brained early on. Like, I have no idea. Like, when you guys were talking about discard deck, destroy deck, I was like, I don't know what that's about. And then one of the clutch was also White Queen, because when you play that card, you get a copy of the highest level card in their hand, or is it its highest power? I think Alex is
No,
specifically
cost. Highest
cost,
cost.
highest cost card in their hand, and that gives you another clue, and it also tells you what they're working with. One time, I White Queened a Shang-Chi, and I was like, this guy about to destroy my Devil Dino. I threw down Cosmo. I won the game. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I was like, and then they Shang-Chi'd, but I was revealing first. This is where this game starts, like, I'm finally, like, all the gears are turning, like, in my head. Do you know what I mean?
You're kind of like the gif of where they're like thinking and they see the numbers like floating around their head. It's like,
yes.
you're seeing it. You're seeing it.
Yes. And then also, one of the mainstays of my Devil Dino collector deck is that you play Nick Fury. And because of Plunder Castle, I get a 6 card. Like, I get a 6 cost card with my Nick Fury. And then I can, like, throw that down. You know what I mean? So, like, that's actually, strangely enough, helped me climb from, like, the early 60s to finally to hit 70. And now I'm just at, like, 71 and 70 for the last, like, day. I mean, I haven't played much today, actually, because I was like, I need a nap. But anyway, so it sounds like the three of us are interested in climbing the ladder. So Matt's already alluded to the amount of gameplay that you've been playing, right? Like, I feel like the way that you're playing is the way they want you to play. They want you to just play a few
bite size
pieces a day. I'm over here playing it like no other video games exists, and I don't have a hobby. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
No, Marvel Snap is life.
Marvel Snap is life. So I want to ask the group thoughts on their payment situation. They're like microtransactions. Like, how do we feel about this? Because I was in a very dark place last night when I decided to buy it. We're in week 5 of the season pass. I had no interest in this pass at all. I had no interest, but I did it because I wanted to get more cards.
The thing is, the season
Alex.
pass is fine, except for the fact that, especially for the past 2 months, the featured card that you get guaranteed is a little bit on the stronger side, which makes it feel like, oh, you need to spend money on this game to win. And, you know, for people that don't really realize, I mean, to an extent, even though this is called a card game, right, there's no trading, so technically it's a collectible card game. So CCG is the common term versus a TCG, which would be a trading card game. And for the most part, right, card games are pay to win by their design, right? It's you need to buy the cards, especially physical card games, in order to play the decks. And so it makes sense that you would need to spend a lot of money, especially when you're talking about stuff like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Magic, where you need up to 2 to 3 copies of each card, of each card you play in your deck. And so the cost scales, whereas something like Marvel Snap, right, being a collectible card game, being digital, isn't like that, for the most part, right? Because you can only have 1 copy of every card in your deck. They have a free-to-play progression in terms of getting all the cards is pretty reasonable in terms of the rate at which you earn cards, and so I don't think there's a lot of stagnation. But it is a little bit worrying with the season passes of the fact that the past 2 have been strong, and so hopefully that isn't the case moving forward, because I feel like in terms of the cards you get guaranteed, I would rather them put in cards that fill niche archetypes that might be strong for that, but that aren't strong in general. And I feel like when you look at the past 2 months, so that would be December and January, they've released the Silver Surfer and then Zabu, that these cards didn't necessarily fill archetypes, but they are blanket good because they apply to so many different cards, right? Silver Surfer's effect, on reveal, give all your 3-cost cards +3, and then Zabu, ongoing, all your 4-cost cards cost 2 less. And so that by design, right, can fit into any archetype. There's no limitation on it. It's just the cost. And so like every deck is running those costs, and so it makes those cards a little bit stronger because of how flexible they are. And so I hope moving forward they keep it more to specific archetypes to be like, this is for on reveal, this is for ongoing, this is for destroy, discard. And I think that makes more sense. But besides that, I think they've done a great job with the cost in terms of you don't really need it's not pay to win, it's more so pay to progress faster, which I feel like is how most free to play games at least should operate, to be like, hey, if you don't want to spend as much time, you can pay money to accelerate that, which I think is perfectly fine.
Yeah, like it's definitely something that I have not bought anything. I don't really plan on
Bravo.
to. Like I don't
Bravo.
plan to. And so like I don't have Silver Surfer. Like I'm kind of like the Squidward meme of like just seeing people play around with Silver Surfer. I'm just sitting there like, all right, well, have fun, everybody.
See you in 6 months.
Yeah. See you in CL 3000 maybe. But that's fine. I do think they're making bukus of money. Bukus. Like they have to be. $10 season pass every month. And people are paying for it every month while also paying for gold. Like they're making their money, and I'm glad, because I think that they're putting a lot of love and care into the game. So I'm appreciative of that. But yeah, I don't feel like it's, they're not doing anything shady. I always feel weird about like with certain season passes, like, oh, hey, you can pay for the season pass, but you can also like go up 25 levels if you pay $35 or something. And people do it. People do it in Halo Infinite, back in the, I guess, the old battle pass system that they had at the beginning. People do it in Fortnite. It is a thing that free to play goes towards. And I really hope that they try their best to not do that. Like when we're doing the rank and stuff, because like one of your resolutions this year is to get to 90, right? I would mean a whole lot less if we knew that you were just paying basically to get there. And it's like, I hope it's not to that point that it ever becomes that way, because I do think that there's a market for that. And in a way, they would be leaving money on the table, because there's probably some 12-year-old that's part of the allowance that he gets or something, or he's just using his mom's credit card and she has no idea. Like they will get the money somehow. But I think right now it's really tasteful. I think it's really nice. And I think I'm shocked that their season pass is every month. Like crazy, right?
Me too.
Like
I think so too.
Fortnite is like every 3 months, like I feel like quarterly is a standard season. And hey, if they can keep it up, great. Because I love seeing it. I love seeing the new designs. And they do give a little bit of love to us freebies too. Like I got a nice card back, like I've got like this past one is like there's a dinosaur on the back of it. It's like a green card back that was free, part of the season pass. And like the one before was like a galactic one that looked like Silver Surfer. And it's like,
yeah,
I like that they're still giving us stuff, and it's enough for me, honestly. And I like how most of it is just cosmetic for the most part, and I like it. So good job, Marvel Snap. Don't get greedy, please.
Yeah, for real. To be honest, like it's good to hear. I was really interested in your perspective on like if you're still having fun just being free to play, and with the cadence of which you're playing, you're like, yeah, like I get things here and there, and like I play, maybe up to an hour each day, so it's not really, I'm not like in it. So I told you guys the reason why I even held off on starting this game was because I knew Like, you knew that I would like it. Both of you knew that.
Yeah.
And I knew that I would like it. But I also knew that I would just bury myself in the hole that is Marvel Snap.
Mm-hmm.
It is. I've bought 2 season passes. I've bought 2 bundles.
Mm-hmm.
That dang Captain America bundle that was in my face for like 3 weeks saying, welcome, new player. I'm like, am I still a new player? I've been playing for 3 weeks. Like, I'm confused here.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they came out with that Lunar New Year bundle. And I'm like, you guys recognize Lunar New Year? Like, give me that Jubilee. She looks beautiful. That's my thought. That's what I'm saying.
Period.
That's it. So, like, overall good vibes with this game. My question to you, let's actually circle back to the whole season pass thing. So this is one thing that I was actually even thinking about when I was like looking at all the cards available, right? Like, we have like over like 300 cards in this game already, I think. Like, no one fact checked me on that. Just take it as face value. I like with a season pass every month, I'm kind of like, how are you coming up with new cards every month?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, they're like digging deep in like the Marvel recesses. Are there any characters that you guys haven't seen that you're interested on joining in, or items, I guess? Because, like, you know, they have like vehicles that are like a card.
Mm-hmm.
I would like the Milano to be added for the Guardians.
Oh,
that's a good one.
That's a good one.
Maybe
But
for
the,
Volume 3.
Oh, okay. Can we also say that I'm in with these themes?
Yeah.
Like, them lining up. Chef's kiss. Okay, I interrupted Alex. Please continue.
Oh no, the real card I desire, and he's made an appearance, or I guess not him specifically, but
Datamine?
the being has made an appearance, and that is Shuma Gorath in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So technically that being that Doctor Strange fights at the beginning is what Shuma Gorath is, but I don't think that being was exactly Shuma Gorath.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like some form of him appearing, because I love that character design.
Okay.
I hope they get some really obscure ones, like even come into the MCU a little bit. Like, wouldn't it be hilarious if it was like Jimmy
Howard the
Woo
Duck?
or something? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
something to do with like drawing cards or
Like a
something.
Matt,
like-
that's ingenious.
Something where maybe you draw cards and then your opponent, he puts cards in their deck in their hand back in their deck. Like, I think it would just be like funny just to like see Jimmy Woo there, you know, fighting alongside
Yeah.
Cyclops and Abomination, you know, whatever. I think that'd be
'cause
hilarious.
That would be great. There's like, actually, now that you guys mention it, there are like more options going on
Mhm.
that could be had in this game. Do you guys think that you'll continue to play this throughout the year?
Yeah, I
Like,
think
do
so.
we think?
I like if they keep it fresh. I think that's the key. If they keep it fresh, like, is Kang coming? I'm assuming he is. Like, maybe
I
as a
think
card.
so.
Like, he should.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I hope so. You know, like, I think if they keep it fresh, it's definitely that like bite size where, oh, I've got like 5-10 minutes. Let me just like play a couple rounds of Marvel Snap while I wait for XYZ. Like, it is that perfect niche of just like perfect place to have a little game. And I think, I don't know, I've been playing it every day since I downloaded it. So that should tell you something, I guess.
That tells me a lot, actually. That's already 4 months.
Yeah.
Of, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
We're about to wait. October, November, December.
Just about,
January. Yep. That sounds great. Alex, you kind of fell off a bit. You got in on the beta, and tell the audience your story.
I was so hyped for this game because, you know, we didn't mention it, but this is developed by Second Dinner, and a lot of the staff at that studio is former Hearthstone dev team employees, so coming from Blizzard. They left Blizzard, you know, especially before a lot of the issues that studio has had come up in the news recently, aside from the whole Microsoft acquisition.
Mhm.
But yeah, a lot of the former Hearthstone devs, which I still enjoy Hearthstone a lot, And it got me excited to learn that the first project that they were working on with their newly formed studio was a card game. So I signed up for the beta when beta signups went live, and I got into the second month of the beta, so that would be in July of last year, 2022. So I missed out on the first month. I couldn't participate in that battle pass even if I wanted to, which later I found out was themed Atlantean Beach Club. So Wave was the featured card for that month, and you had Cosmo, and I forgot what the other variant was, but they're all basically aquatic themed variants, and they look really nice. And also, I'm surprised how I don't think I've seen any of them used ever. I think I've seen the card back used because it's that like castle, like shrouded castle, like under
Oh,
the ocean.
yeah, I've seen
Okay.
that like twice.
But I have not seen the card variants, which I don't know if that goes to show very little people bought the battle pass back then that still play or whatnot.
Okay.
But I did notice a lot of people apparently like the variants I use because I actually bought July's battle pass, which was Love and Thunder themed since Thor Love and Thunder came out that month, and it had Thor and Lady Sif variants. So a lot of time when I'm using those cards, I get those like little starry-eyed emojis that you can rack to cards specifically. So I see that quite often. So I guess a lot of people don't get to see those cards. So I'm happy to be able to use those when I do and get those reactions, because then at least it shows those people, hey, there's a lot of cool art that they have in this game, even if it's paid for, right? As Matt mentioned, these are purely cosmetic. You know, you can get Lady Sif and Thor basic versions or just anything that rotates in the shop, you know, basically free to play, so you don't have to pay like I did. But after that month, I completed that pass, got to 50, and I didn't play up until Tiffany started again in December. And so didn't play for 5 straight months essentially. And I think it was because when I played it during the beta, I was hot on it, but then as I played a lot of it at the time, I realized due to the kind of scope of the game, right? As we mentioned, this is more meant to be bite sized, right? They don't want you playing this 24/7. The decks are small. Like the complexity, I guess, to be reductive, is low for the most part because there's not a lot that you have to take into account. And I guess for me, coming from enjoying stuff like Hearthstone, I kind of missed that aspect. And so by playing Marvel Snap, it got me reignited in my interest and love of Hearthstone. And so I kind of swapped back to that. But then once Tiffany picked it up in December, that's kind of what brought me back to say, oh, even though the gameplay really hasn't changed too much, right? They haven't really added new mechanics in terms of, right, there's still ongoing on revealed destroy discard. Like these are all types of effects that have existed since beta. They've at least made it more interesting, especially with the locations of, right, as they continue each week, it seems like on a weekly basis they're also adding new locations. And so not knowing what 3 locations are going to appear any match really adds to the variety to say, hey, you know the deck you're playing, but you don't know what's gonna the 3 locations that will appear this match, and that's gonna change your strategy substantially. And so it seems like that's at least adding some complexity where I was missing it initially. And so I've gone back on the train basically since Tiffany picked it up. I've also played daily,
Nice.
and I think that goes to show because I think I'm the highest rank here. So I capped out this season so far at 82.
Wow.
Currently,
Nice.
I've dropped down to 79. That's where I'm at currently, but I've played enough to grind up to 82. And I'll say this, to most people, especially if you're scared of rank grind, don't it, baseline, it's not worth it, especially the time it takes to get here,
Yeah.
unless you're really aggressive. But it is something that I think if you can get to infinite, which is rank 100 at least once, maybe just some random season, and you prove to yourself that, I think that's all you need to do to say, hey, you can get here. And then after that, don't worry about it because it really is a time sink. And that's mostly it. It's like if you have the skill, you just need to play enough to get there. And I think it'll happen.
I mean, honestly, the rewards are kind of what's driving me right now,
And
like,
your resolution.
well, and my resolution. But the galactic resolution was like get gold. Like, Matt, it sounds like you spend most of your gold on variants. Is that an accurate statement?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the only thing. Like at the first, I used gold for credits because I was an idiot.
Oh no.
Yeah, but now I've learned that is not the way to go. And yeah, it's only for variants. Like I don't have much gold. Like I have like 1,000 gold, and that takes a long time to get. But it's okay. Like there's not many variants that I'm really after. I'm really only going for variants. One, that I like the look of them, but two, like they're in a current deck. If that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, like it's in a deck that you're actively playing right now.
Right.
So, because of all the different strategies potentially, do you guys experiment with decks at all, or do you like kind of roll with one that you've liked, tried and true? And then a follow-up question to that for the group is, do any of you do research outside of your mind, aka the internet, and do you like look up meta and stuff? The meta.
Oh yeah, I'm all about the meta. I mean, coming from playing other card games, I think especially if you want to climb, as sad as it is, like a lot of it comes down to playing what the best decks are out there. And so right currently it is variants of decks that include Zabu and Silver Surfer, as we alluded to. They're kind of really strong cards, and so those decks climb easily. But I think, I typically, obviously, right, you can't really brute force your way to earning cards in this game because, right, there's the rotating shop and there's no way to purchase cards directly besides the season pass. But I typically play things that I'm impressed by that my opponents play. So especially whether or not I beat them, if I see as they play their deck that I'm interested in the mechanics and interactions and I have the cards that they're using, I typically use that to fuel my inspiration, because obviously looking up meta decks, right, I could see that they're the best decks out there, but I don't have cards like Silver Surfer or Darkhawk or even Dracula. And so there are decks I can aspire to play because I know they'd be strong, but I'm still missing the key pieces to those decks, so it's almost impossible to play them, right, because I can't like go out and get those cards immediately. And so by playing what I either beat or get beaten by, I think that's what keeps it interesting for me, because at least I'm not just playing the same deck for 100 matches in a row, and it gives me a little bit of variety too. But also, I keep in mind the locations, right, that are more likely to appear, because I think that's also a key component of climbing, is not necessarily just changing your deck, but also keeping the same deck but knowing when to snap and retreat. And right, because as you play every game, there's typically the minimum guarantee you'll win one cube or lose one cube. And so you should know, right, especially if your opponent snaps, if you don't think you're going to win based on like what you've seen or based on what they've played and you've played or drawn, like you should not be afraid to leave, right? Because you're guaranteed to lose a cube anyway. So there's really no downside to leaving a game before like the snap commits. And so I think that's helped motivate like my deck choice playing, of deciding, hey, I'm going to try this because this, as Tiffany mentioned right now, Plunder Castle, 6 cost. Tiffany's deck fits it. At the time, I also didn't have a deck, but then I ended up making a deck to fit that location appearing, and it worked out well for me for a few ranks, and then I ended up swapping to something else, but that was just part of the cycle of like continue to playing new things.
Yeah, like I have like 5 or 6 decks that I've been tinkering with for the entire time. And it's basically just like, what's going to be the hotness this week? Like, what is not only what would do well with the current location, but like also what are other people going to be playing on the other location? So like if people are like the mining thing that happened where like everybody destroyed 8, I just added death to all of my decks, and I actually just used a destroyer deck myself, because then like I don't know, it just was an automatic 0-12 person all the time. And then I definitely agree with Alex, like I'm learning from other people that are better at my deck. Like I got wrecked one time by someone who played Moon Girl on her destroy deck and then had 2-0-12 death, and I was like, this is amazing, this is what I need to do. Then now Moon Girl is in my destroy deck, so like Now I feel like I'm just like learning from other people of like, that's a really good move. I need to do that. I definitely think like there's cards on there that I'm like, I wish I had this. I wish I had this. I wish I had this. And you're just kind of like waiting for them to drop. Like every time I open a box, I'm like, please, please, please be null. I want you so bad. But alas, it never is. So it's all fun. It's all fun. Like, I think it's just, at the end of the day, you can get really burned out with like RNG or just like competitive games. And so I have like a really fun like troll deck that this is so based on Alex's deck of his like control deck, which has Professor X on it. And basically every single card that I hate playing against, I put in this. And it just like has every counter. It has Cosmo. It has Enchantress. Like it has all the things of when you just feel deflated, I have it in that deck. Because I can't tell you how many times, even if I lose, I'm just like trolling them, and some people quit just to quit because it is really frustrating for them. So like when I'm like on a losing streak, I'll just pop in that deck, and like at the end of the day, this game has to be fun. If it's not fun, I'm going to delete it. And so you have to, my piece of advice from someone who's definitely a novice out of the three of us, I'm definitely the novice of the group. You have to have fun, because what's the point, right? So find a deck that you like to play, and if you like it a lot and you're successful, fantastic. If you're not, like, maybe look on Reddit, because there's probably someone who has a similar deck that might have that like missing piece to make you successful. And if not, anything else, if it's just fun to play, just keep playing it that way. I think that's the best part. So that's why Professor X was on my thing, because he's the biggest troll ever. Put him with Daredevil. Daredevil's like, oh, I see what you're doing. Oh, one lane gone. One lane gone. My favorite thing to do is when they do what's it called? It's like Sinister Castle. What is it called? Sinister Mansion or
when
something.
When they put Sinister London, when they like put another card of the same card in a different spot.
Yes, doing Professor X on that, and just like, I have no idea what's going to happen. You have no idea, and I have no idea, and we're gonna find out together. And when it works, you feel so good, because then it's like, I won. And then you tap, and then they quit. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. It's just like, that's the moment where this is like, yes, this is why I was in my top 6 last year. And honestly, here's my question to you all. This game came out last year. You all started playing last year. Do you see this being in the discussion towards the end of the year for your top 6 experiences of 2023?
Yeah, honestly, there's a potential here. So I've been shirking all other things. Like, I love what I've played of Fire Emblem Engage, but I literally kind of, and it's this weird dynamic for me where like I was all in, winter break, quote unquote. You had a couple days off from New Year's, what have you.
Yeah.
And I was like playing like a week straight of like, Eyes Bloodshot, like playing it. I like stopped for like a week and a half. Like, you know what I mean? There was a time in early January, I was kind of like, whatever. I let missions lapse. Like, I was just like, whatever. And then the moment like Fire Emblem came out, I like restarted playing Marvel Snap, and it makes absolutely no sense. But if this trend continues where I I maybe pause again and then re-find love for it again, I could see this making its way into a top 6 situation. There are, like, one time Alex was telling me, he's like, man, I'm going to strive for this deck because that guy looked like they were having the time of their lives playing this game. And I was like, how do you know? You weren't even, like, you don't know this person. You weren't looking in their eyes when they were playing the game. They were just playing cards. And Alex was like, they're having the time of their life, and I want to have that time too. And I was like, what?
He was playing me, and I was putting Professor X on everybody.
But like when you're talking about like the joys of seeing other people's decks and like they're like, that's such a cool combo, I never thought of that. Learning every day has been amazing, and like coming up with new strategies based on what you see. There was one deck that I want to do so bad. When you talk about troll decks, there was one match that I got literally rocked by debris, by Korg, by every rock. I literally lost. The end score was like 2-0, like 1 or something, and there were rocks everywhere. And I had 5 rocks in my hand. I couldn't, like, by turn, like, 5, I couldn't play anything anywhere, and they couldn't play anything anywhere, so I was just, like, staring at all these rocks, and honestly, I should have left, and I don't think I did. Or, like, maybe I did, I don't know, but I was just like, I need this deck. I want to win by 1 point, especially when the mission is, like, win by less than 10 points. Like, this debris deck would be freaking amazing. Rocks everywhere, and I was, like, furious about it, but like also like touche, like tip of the hat to you.
They were having the time of their lives. That's what Alex is talking about. There's no way. They're literally rocking you. Just think about what we're saying. They're rocking you and they're winning by 1 point. They are besides themselves. They are having a beautiful Tuesday evening.
Yeah. I guess I was like, I want to be you. Like, I want to be you. Like, give me those cards.
Yeah, I really think, last year, the game I played a lot at the beginning of the year, which was SnowRunner, made my top 6 for 2022.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And I feel like this is in a similar vein where, it's hot right now. It's been hot for January. It'll probably be hot for February, especially because I'm trying to go for that infinite ranked grind at least once, as I mentioned before, because I haven't done it yet, so I just want to prove to myself I can in this game. But I feel like it'll be the same thing as Tiffany mentioned of, even if I lapse now, if I come back to it, I think that's enough, because even though when I was done playing SnowRunner, I still remembered all those glorious moments of event I posted to you guys. I showed you guys some of them that happened, of just the antics of delivering packages in that game and what could happen. And just remembering these times now, at the end of the year, I'm going to look back and be like, oh man, that deck was really fun, or that concept, or just the progression of getting this and then, getting to rank 60 this season in particular. And I opened a pixel variant. I got Pixel Mysterio. And, boy, do I not like those pixel arts.
Me neither.
And it's also, I feel like a meme where everyone says if you get a variant, it's going to be Pixel Vulture, because of just how hideous Pixel Vulture looks. And but I'll forever remember that it happened to me. And so, in a way, I am disappointed that I got a Pixel variant and not one of the cool like Art Germ variants or the Venomized or Nullified variants. But it was a moment that I'll remember because, right, I've had so much fun playing the game, and it especially didn't discourage me from playing the game, right? It wasn't something so bad that I'm like, I'm going to uninstall. It's like, no, I'm still enjoying it, and that'll probably be the case because I also just love card games.
I honestly feel like some of my joy is also coming from the fact that I love that I can talk to you both about it. Like I love it when you send me your wins, and I love sending you. I hope you love it when I send you my wins. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I curate I'm like, this is worth screenshotting and sharing. Like
I'm
when
waiting for the screenshot with the rocks.
One day, scratch my 90 rank goal. Put that in there. You know what I mean? But like, there was one time where I was playing a Surfer deck, and Surfer was nowhere to be found, and all my 3 cards were out on the field, and it was literally turn 6, and I Jubileed. I threw my hands in the air, and I was like, take the wheel, threw Jubilee down, and what do you know? She drags out my Silver Surfer. I literally like karate chopped the air. Like when I was like, I did it, and like I was screenshotting that, sending it to my boys. Like it was the highest of highs. It was incredible. I should have bought a lottery ticket.
You should have.
Honestly,
you definitely should have.
So one thing I want to ask you guys, do you think that they other than the season pass like lineup with movies, which I think is smart, because there's been a leak that the next season, like the February season, is related to Ant-Man. Do you guys see any additional MCU tie-ins? Like, I'm not really seeing, like, I don't really see variants with any MCU stuff. I don't see any like titles. Like, why aren't titles like related to MCU? You know what I mean? Like, what do you guys think about that? Like, do we think they're trying to keep their own identity here, or what do you like? Thoughts on it? Do you want them to have MCU tie-ins other than the season pass, or?
I think it would be kind of fun. Like there's no way that they don't. They don't stay away from that. I think like there's certain variants that are of artists, like comic book artists, that have such a huge influence on the MCU that you almost think that, oh, this is talking about like Steve Rogers of the MCU, because it was taken directly from this comic book artist that is in the variant. There is a part of me though that likes the simplicity of it, in that it's not, like modern MCU. It's not connected to an actor that's playing these. No, it's like based on the comics. I like kind of anchoring on the comics. So there's part of me that wants to be like a purist about it and be like, nah, stay clean. But I don't know. It could be cool, like especially for made up characters in the MCU that I want to give a card to, like Jimmy Woo.
Like Jimmy Woo.
Yeah, like that would be so much fun. So much fun.
Or Darcy.
Yeah.
Get me a Darcy card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I prefer how they're currently doing with just theming it around the releases, but not necessarily using the aesthetics or anything from that. Because, like with Matt, I agree. I like the artist renditions from the comics, and especially seeing, they credit every artist on their variants when you see it in the shop, or you just obtain it randomly. And I really like a lot of the art styles that appear. Now I forget the artist's first name, but I think it's Luca Claretti.
Yeah.
Oh
is
yeah.
the artist, and all of that artist's variants are just gorgeous. Like, I love their aesthetic, and that's like a style that hasn't appeared in the MCU, but I don't even know if it's appeared in the comics. I don't even like. They might just be an artist they contracted to do renditions of these characters, because that's how little I know about the comics. But I really enjoy it, and I think it gives a really different side to the characters, of showing them in these ways that just gives it a different personality, and gives it enough of a spin to still make it interesting, to be like, hey, I know this is White Tiger, I know what she does, but White Tiger looking like this, she's looking real fierce compared to the standard White Tiger. And so I ended up passing on that variant, sadly, because I'm trying to save my gold to buy a bundle later on. But that's definitely something where I'm like, if we could pin variants, I would totally have pinned that variant to like buy later because of how gorgeous it looks. So yeah, I like how they're releasing cards themed around it, right? So I know probably we'll get something Miss Marvel related later this year because of her inclusion with the whole Marvels. And I know we're getting something apparently with Nimrod, who's related to the X-Men, and a future upcoming season. So there's a lot of characters that aren't in the MCU, but definitely are MCU adjacent, that I also enjoy them bringing in to say, hey, they might be characters that never appear in the MCU, but they're related to, X-Men or something that is there, and we can give you some extra flavor. So I like how it's more of a supplemental material, if you will, to the watching experience.
Yeah, part of me wonders if even like there's a lot of X-Men that are in the game right now, but there's also a lot of X-Men that are not. So like part of me is like, I wonder if they're going to line it with the cartoon release, because they were remaking or like continuing the old 90s X-Men cartoon and stuff. So stuff like that actually kind of makes me excited. Now, one of the final things that we do on a peer review episode, before I let you guys have kind of some closing remarks, because we had a good discussion so far. Love the game. I need to hear y'all as in the audience. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'll give you all of our context later. But so, at the end of a peer review, we got to tell the people: do we recommend it or do we not? And I feel like the audience understands that we all three of us recommend this experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. Like, we have to, right? Like, this is one of the best games last year, this year, ongoing. Honestly, what I think is this should be the best ongoing game. If they continue giving it its flowers throughout the year, giving it the time it deserves, and actually doing like these monthly season passes, I like this is up there with like Fortnite in my mind. Of yes, Fortnite gets a lot of like outside, and like all their stuff is licensed, and so it's tough when you just have one license, but I think it's got to be up there. It's got to be up for consideration. For me, I think this is a definite recommended.
Same here.
I feel like this is going to be my first recommendation that's basically no caveats. I feel like every other time I've had some sort of caveat if we have recommended, say, I recommend it except for this thing. I feel like in this case, I definitely recommend this, right? You know, if you have a cell phone, you don't even need a cell phone. This is on Steam. So if you hate playing games on your phone like I do a lot of the time, you can just, download for free off of Steam and play it on your computer like I am right now. But in that case too, in case you don't like it because it is free to play, just uninstall it. I think it's as simple as that, especially if you do it on your phone. It's to say you could play a handful of matches, and if you're not feeling it, I would say play more first, but just get rid of it. And so really there's no downside to at least checking it out a little bit.
Awesome. We're all in on it. So let us know your thoughts, or if you're playing, you can tweet at us at RXP_podcast. You can email us at rxp.podcast@gmail.com. You can like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, RXP Podcast. And I want to thank all my co-hosts here indulging me on this conversation, right? Like, Alex, do I need to also thank Grandmaster Doug?
Yes, you
okay,
do.
We're thanking Grandmaster Doug on this episode. Sorry, peer reviews are edited a little bit differently, so I need to double check. Now, my final word for this is that I challenge both of you to a PvP match in Marvel Snap.
Ooh, okay.
And that is my final word for this episode. Everyone go play it. I'm gonna go play with these two.